Hey guys, it's Kelly. Got another page done in my mini art journal. Thought it came out cute. Wanted to share with you guys. Super quick and easy. Looks complicated, but it is not. It is not. So the cardstock that I'm using was from the previous video. I'll make sure I link it at the end. I used the alcohol lift ink on one of the alcohol ink backgrounds that I've done in the past. And I used a leaf and I just lifted the alcohol ink, had it on my stamp, and then put it on this piece of paper. And it turned out really cute. Now, most of it does wind up getting covered up in the project, but it doesn't matter. It still adds visual interest in the background. So I went with it. So I'm using Vintage Photo, just plain Distress ink, and then Scattered Straw Distress ink. I love this combination. It's really a great combination for a vintage feel where you want to mute the white, but you still want a little bit light. The Scattered Straw, it to me is a really good balance. And I decided to put some water splatters on there. I love that effect with Distress ink. That's the whole purpose of it, right? It reacts with water. And you got a couple options. You can play with this all day long. Like you can spray it on and have tiny misting, or you can just put big blobs of water and have more visual interest that way. That's what I wanted for this project. But I like it when you put the water on there and then you let it air dry. The outside of the splatter mark is darker, so it looks cool. You can kind of see it in the upper left-hand corner there. And then I knew I wanted to add some stamping in the background. I have this Stampered Anonymous collection in a binder. I have some go-tos that I have for that. That little clock is one I use a lot. And then the postage stamp there, I use that one a lot too. So I stamped them in Walnut Stain and Vintage Photo, not introducing a whole bunch of new colors here. I wanted to keep them all pretty uniform. And I love that little postage stamp there. It's so cool. It's like old school way of stamping. I just like that. And just stamped them randomly, kind of making a visual triangle as best I can. And then I knew I wanted a butterfly for my focal point. And I found a blue one that went really nice with my color combo. So I wound up pulling out my Distress ink in Tumbled Glass. Love that color. It's like one of the original ones and it's still one of my favorites. So I wanted to have a halo effect around the butterfly. So I needed to kind of just use my sponge and just kind of like circle it around, just to kind of have the halo behind it. And when I did that, I liked it, but it still looked a little bit too plain. I needed something in the background. So I decided to pull out some vellum and just tear it into a rectangle. And then I knew that the color from the tumbled glass would kind of show through that and give that halo effect that I was looking for without being too overwhelming. And I thought that was just the ticket that I needed to get that done. So, and there it is. So I kind of liked how that worked out. Now I could have gone crazy and put flowers and all kinds of stuff behind it, but I'm really a fan of a simple design. Less is more. When I start putting all kinds of other stuff on it, it winds up looking way too busy and forced. And I do my art journal just for me, and it's great therapy. It just creates something pretty just for the sake of creating something pretty. I don't necessarily have to give it to somebody. The gift that I give with this, hopefully, and what I hope happens, is to inspire others, which is why I share these videos in the first place. I want to inspire others to do this because it's just, I don't know, it's great. It's de-stressing, and you create something pretty, you look back at it, and it's like, yep, I did that. So, and it's not for everybody, I get it, but if you're watching this, hopefully it's something that you like to do. And hopefully by watching my videos, the only thing that I want from these is just to know that I inspired somebody to create something. People are scared of art journaling. No reason to be. You just jump in and do it. There's no right way or wrong way. It doesn't have to be the way I do it. You could just do it your way. All kinds of ways to do it. So don't be scared. Just jump in and do it and create something pretty. So that little memories thing is just something that I had in my stash. I cut that out from paper a long time ago and knew I would use it sometime. And I just found its home. Sorry, I got a cold. So yeah, I like how that turned out, but it wasn't quite done. I needed something more. And without overdoing it, I wound up going, you know what? I need some dark splatters. That is the ticket. So I just covered over my focal point and my sentiment. And I put down some Walnut Stain Distress ink on my glass media mat and some water and a brush and just splattered it on there. There's no right or wrong way to do this, guys. Well, I guess there is a wrong way. If you can definitely overdo it and put too much. Or you could put not enough, I guess. But you know what? You just do it your way. I just splattered it here and there. It's very, very subtle. Very subtle. But to me, it makes everything come together. Between putting the splatters on there and then framing it in on the outside with some black soot, which I'll do here in a second, it winds up just making it look finished to me. So, and I like using my sponge applicators for this kind of stuff. Works great. You could just like take the ink pad right to it if you wanted, but I think that would have been, I like the soft, like brush like way that things look on this, that looks soft and muted. So I definitely wanted it to be just barely on the edge, just to kind of bring your eye to the center where my focal point is. And that's kind of what framing it in does. It's hard to see when you look on the glass media mat, but framing it in with black soot is really that final finishing touch. So, and I really liked how this one turned out. I glued it in my book and called it done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you got inspired to make something beautiful. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. It really helps my channel. I'll have a bunch more to come. Thanks.